Welcome to Comment Cocktails. I just got back from the gym. I totally forgot I needed a video for Thursday, and this is Wednesday night. So I'm getting this done so I can edit it and get it ready for the 6 o'clock time period. What I wanted to do is cover quickly, because we have a live stream coming on Friday. So it's been nice, light out, thinking cocktails more than I was before, thinking cocktails with rum. So I wanted to prepare you guys for the summertime and what you're going to be picking up at the store when you're looking at rum. Specifically rum. I love rum. So I'm going to give you my top 5 rums that I think you should pick this for this season, this summertime, to make your cocktails. We'll talk a little bit about the cocktail selection you might pair with these. It's going to be pretty much something in common with each other, but like tiki. So what I'm going to start with is, I'll start with the one that probably is the most disappointing. Bacardi Superior. So I get it. Like, people are like, oh yeah, it's a sellout. You're just buying that's the man. This is like the brand everybody wants to hate because they're huge and their marketing budget is bigger than like small countries. But Bacardi Superior is actually pretty good stuff. In blind tastings, I tend to pick it, if not the first, pretty close to the first, and I hate picking it every time, but it always happens. And the reason is, it's simple, it's crisp, it's fresh, it actually has flavor and nuance. Although most people say it tastes like rubbing alcohol, there's a couple reasons for that. One of them is that you're probably just tasting it without having had any other things to drink, and your mouth is just like, it's like getting slapped in the face, right, waking up in the morning. You need to swish around, spit it out, do it blind with a couple other things, and then you'll start to pick up more of the nuance. The big key factor here, I think, is that it's Puerto Rican rum, so it's fairly easy to get, and they don't add a lot of sugar, if any. I don't think legally, I don't know if it's necessarily legally, but I don't think they actually add any sugar. I have a video about rums that contain sugar. More on that in a second. So if you're diabetic, you just don't like a lot of sugar in your cocktails, you're going to be like me, drinking a lot of cocktails, and you don't want to have the compounding amounts of sugar because you're already adding other sugars to it, like demerara syrups or passion fruit syrups, then I think Superior is a good selection. Now, the next one I pick, and I don't know the sugar content of this, but Mount Gay Barbados rum. This is Eclipse. Out of all the different Mount Gay products, I haven't found one I've been disappointed with. So this is the one I tend to see the most. Sometimes they have special editions and stuff. I like Eclipse because it is a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit more versatile. This can get lost in some drinks. This brings out a different presentation and more caramely flavors and brown sugars and butteriness. It's just got, I don't know, it's the quintessential rum taste, smell, whatever. It just smells like what you'd expect, almost like a spice rum appeal to it without the spices. So I'm super excited with Eclipse. This would be, if I had to pick something to just use every day, I would probably pick this. Only because I've had so many daiquiris and stuff with Bacardi that it starts to kind of get boring after a while. When using Bacardi in a cocktail like a daiquiri, I will use bitters and stuff like that to kind of bring out new flavors I'm not used to. Even maybe a little lavender, celery bitters, for instance, is great with the daiquiri. I have a celery daiquiri video. Next, El Dorado. This is the 12-year. Definitely going to have sugar. This is a demerara rum, so it's going to be dark, black strappy, but not as much as like some of those more black strap, burnt, like charred barrel products. This is more of your traditional demerara rum. This product is going to be called for a lot in tiki drinks. So if you're planning to make tiki drinks this year, see if you can pick yourself up some El Dorado. This is the 12. There's a couple other ones. 12 was the easiest. It's kind of like middle of the road on price. Making tiki cocktails, you don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money on your rums because you're usually going to have 3 rums in there and 5 other juices and maybe bitters. This is Plantation Original Dark. Plantation is known for added sugar, so it's going to be sweeter. When you take these two products, and people will say this is more mature or flavorful than this, and it's not as rough and aggressive as this. One of the reasons is they add sugar to this to curb it down, to curve off the edges, to sand it down and make it a little bit more palatable. However, I say that like it's a bad thing, but I love this product. So if you do have issues with sugar or you're trying to avoid excessive sugar, this might not be the product, but their dark product is fantastic. Love this in a daiquiri, just this in the daiquiri. I don't need any other things, just, well, besides the other ingredients. Actually, I'm not even thinking about a daiquiri. I'm thinking more of a Mai Tai. If I'm making a Mai Tai, I don't mind doing a straight up Mai Tai with this. Daiquiris with this is no problem either. But Mai Tai, where you typically bring in 2 rums, I just go straight up Plantation Dark and I'm good. Lastly, this is probably more of an elevated thing in a way. This is Smith Cross traditional Jamaican rum. This is pure pot still rum. This is made Smith Cross from London. I think it's a Jamaican rum, so it's going to have that funkiness to it, which is going to be much usually different than these. So when you're looking at like the El Dorado, think blackstrap, molasses, turbinado, sugar-like flavors. When you're thinking Plantation Dark, maybe a balance of that against that more standard Puerto Rican rum-like flavor to it, but with the added sweetness. With Mount Gay, kind of an all-around just flavorful product that tastes like your standard rum. Smith & Cross is going to have that funky Jamaican taste. It might be a little bitter. Some people might not like it if it's in a drink that's too alcohol forward. I don't get that myself. There are some Jamaican rums I don't care for. But if you're going to make a Mai Tai, usually it's balanced with Jamaican and Martinique. I usually balance it with Jamaican and Puerto Rican, or Jamaican and, I don't know, any of the Barbados, whatever, just to add that little bit of funk to it and still bring in some of those traditional flavors. Honestly, if you have all of these, you probably can make most of the tiki drinks. Even if you're subbing one in for another, you could get yourself some Lemon Heart 151 or some Hamilton 151 if you're looking for something that you're going to be lighting on fire, or you need some of that floats that some drinks put on top where they have that kick. But it's not a requirement. So if you get those, I think you're going to be good to go this year. Personally, I'd have all of them and I would sub them out. Even if you're only going to make 1 or 2 different drinks, change up the rum every now and then. You're going to probably find it adds a little sense of intrigue, and you'll find ones that are going to be better when you're in the sun, other ones that are going to be better at night near a fire, other ones that are just general good party product. Bacardi, for instance, it's going to be on the cheaper side. El Dorado is probably going to be a little bit more expensive and harder to find. If you have any questions, write them down below. The only question you might have, and I have a video on ages of rum and styles of rum, a couple videos, I'll put them all in the links down below so you can get to them. That will go through a little bit more like what is an aged rum, what is a young rum, what is a white rum, because spoiler alert, this white rum is still aged probably about 4 years, and this aged rum is probably aged about 4 years. Some will have caramel color, others will not. So it gets confusing, I understand. Still, those are the 5 you want to get. That's it. Live stream tomorrow night. Unless you're watching this later, then it won't be tomorrow night, but you wouldn't care probably at that point. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and all the stuff that all the YouTubers say. Like, subscribe, and click the bell. That's, I think, the thing the kids are saying. We're done. Teaching you how to drink rum.